You think you know what prison means: iron bars, dark cells, the stench of despair. No, in the 41st millennium, prison is not a place, it's a sentence on your soul. The camera pans across a desolate world orbiting a dying sun. Chains of black iron stretch across the horizon, anchoring colossal prison spires that pierce the clouds like spears of judgment. Screams echo faintly in the wind, some human, some not. My name is Cato Verin. Once, I was a loyal citizen of the Imperium. Now, I am prisoner 4592, condemned to serve eternity beneath the Emperor's shadow. Cato Verin had never imagined the Imperium's justice would feel colder than the void that he had been a manufacturing worker on Hive Torath, one of billions who toiled endlessly for rations and shelter. He made a mistake, perhaps a small one. He spoke against a foreman, accused of hoarding resources meant for the workers. One wrong word, one overheard complaint, and he was charged with sedition against the Emperor's servants. I and the Imperium, there is no trial. Only a sentence. Cato was dragged from his dwelling, bound in electro chains, and thrown aboard a prisoner transport. The ship reeked of rust, sweat, and blood. Hundreds were packed inside, eyes hollow, some whispering prayers to the Emperor, others too broken to speak. When they arrived, he first saw the Pit of Varnak, a planet converted into one colossal penitentiary. From orbit, it was a scarred wasteland, its surface split by gaping canyons filled with smoke and fire. The prisoners called it the Emperor's Graveyard. Cato's new life began with a number burned into his arm and his humanity stripped away. The prison was divided into tiers. Each deeper level meant harsher punishment. Above all loomed the warden, a towering, half-mechanical figure named Inquisitor Veritas, who believed pain was the purest form of repentance. Every scream, Veritas declared during the prisoner's induction, is a hymn to the Emperor's glory. Life in Varnak was survival through agony. Food rations came once every 2 days, a gray paste barely edible. Water was a privilege. The air was toxic, the lights never dimmed. Cato met 2 others who would change everything. Lira, a former Imperial Guard medic, imprisoned for mercy, she refused to execute wounded civilians during a campaign. Tarn, a silent Ogryn who was once loyal to his squad but left behind in a failed retreat. His punishment, servitude until death. They formed a fragile bond, a spark of humanity in the black pit, but hope was poison here. During one endless shift of hauling slag ore through the lower tunnels, Cato witnessed a man collapse. A guard, a mechanical servitor with skull-like features, beat him until his ribs cracked, then dragged him away. Reclamation duty, they called it. Everyone knew what that meant. The man would return as a servitor himself, lobotomized, part of the machinery that tormented them. That night, Lira whispered, "If we don't escape, that's our fate too." Cato didn't respond, but her words burned in him. Days became weeks. Cato began noticing things: a hidden passage, a pattern in the guard rotations, old maintenance tunnels sealed with caution sigils. And deep down, beneath the despair, a flicker of rebellion stirred. The Imperium had taken his name, his dignity, his future. But it hadn't taken his will, and in a place like Varnak, willpower was the most dangerous weapon of all. The plan was madness, but madness was the only freedom left. Cato, Lira, and Tarn worked in silence, saving scraps, memorizing patrol paths, marking the shifts of the overseer servitors. Each mistake meant execution, or worse. When the time came, the prison trembled with chaos. A plasma conduit exploded in the lower foundries, an accident, or perhaps the Emperor's will. Smoke filled the corridors, alarms screamed, and the prisoners rose in confusion and rage. Cato led them through the chaos, using a tunnel hidden beneath the slag chutes. The air was molten hot, but freedom burned hotter. behind them, servitors clanked closer, and the booming voice of Inquisitor Veritas thundered through the vox. There is no escape from judgment. The Emperor sees all. As they climbed, Cato saw Lira's arm torn by shrapnel. She refused to stop. Tarn shielded them, his massive frame blocking a hail of gunfire, roaring with pain and loyalty. At last, they reached the outer gates, a sky choked with ash and the faint glow of distant stars. The air tasted like metal and hope, but the warden awaited them. Veritas descended from above, wings of black steel unfolding. His voice was a machine's scream. You dare defy the Emperor's justice? Cato stood his ground. This isn't justice. This is slavery. The Inquisitor's laughter echoed like thunder. Then embrace your punishment. Bolts of plasma seared the ground. Tarn fell, his body burning as he shielded Cato and Lira one last time. In his final breath, he growled. Go, be free. With fury and desperation, Cato seized a shattered power cable and drove it into Veritas's chest. Electricity screamed through the warden's armor, splitting metal and flesh. The giant fell, his voice fading into static prayer. The gates crumbled. The prisoners surged outward, into the wasteland beyond. Not freedom, perhaps, but not captivity either. Lira, wounded but alive, looked at the rising dawn. We'll never be free from the Imperium, she said softly. Maybe not, Cato replied. But at least we can choose who we are. They vanished into the ash storms, shadows against a dying sun.